All right, hello and welcome to another little episode, right? Reviewing Wicked. Let's go. Spooky, scary, Wicked. It's not a scary movie. I'm surprised they actually won that word over against scary movies, to be honest with you, now that I think about it. Anyway, Wicked, the Wizard of Oz musical come to movie ness. Haven't seen any of it. Forethought before I dive into this review at all, right? I have not. I don't know. It was a book, right? I don't know. I have no knowledge of Wicked at all. I have not read the book. I have not seen the stage play musical. I have not. I know nothing of Wicked until now, when these trailers came out, and then I have seen the movie, and it is a part one. And to inform everyone who doesn't also know, it is a part one. If you're going into seeing it thinking you're just gonna, go in, see it, and be done with it, no, you now have to wait till next year and see part two. So be aware of that. It's long, but we'll dive in. Just a forethought: I haven't seen any of Wicked. I knew nothing about the story of Wicked other than it was about the evil Green Witch from The Wizard of Oz, and kind of had nothing to do with Wizard of Oz other than her story and Glinda's story and their origins or whatever. Anyway, uh, overall though, quickness, really good actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be for a few reasons, and I'll dive in. Um, the trailers came out, right? Like I had no knowledge of kind of what Wicked was or the story. It was raving. Everyone knew about it. The Broadway play, how big the music was, all that jazz. But I never got around to listening to the music or the story or anything like that. I somehow kept myself pretty spoiler free of all these years of Wicked, which really isn't too hard to do with Broadway plays. That's not They're advertised, but you don't really get to see the spoilers of it. Um, so I kind of went in pretty bare of what I was expecting. However, trailers exist in the world, and who to blame for that? Universal, right? Like, you usually always blame the production companies and all that jazz because they kind of put it together. Their advertising team needs to be slapped along with pretty much every single trailer advertising group in the world. They need to be slapped is a very kind word to give them. Um, if you've watched the trailers, you've seen the movie. Hate to break it to you. I remember the first trailer was like 3.5 minutes. The movie's 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it's very a long movie. But still, the trailer honestly breaks down the cliff notes of the story. Honestly, it spoils a lot of the like big chunky moments. It even has like snippets of some songs in there, and stuff. And it does like some of the biggest moments in the film. There's snippets of the scenes in the trailers, and I mean, you show the hypest parts of the movie, get people to go see it. So I did. There was about one plot point that was not in the trailers that like I didn't I wasn't, I watched the whole movie and I had seen the trailers and I was like, okay, yeah, this is this part of the trailer. And like I pieced together the story out of the trailer myself. I've seen Wizard of Oz, and Wizard of Oz is fantastic. And then watching the trailer of that and being able to put the story together, I kind of knew what I was getting into, and then just throw music on top of it, right? And there was one plot point. I won't spoil it because thank Jesus they didn't spoil it too much in the trailer. That was really interesting. That plays a very small role in this one, and it seems like it'll be kind of the centerpiece of the part two movie. I'm tired of that as well, but that's a whole different story. As long as they're good, hey, more the merrier. But yeah, so let's go into it. It's a musical. The first thing is the music, right? The music was really good. I enjoyed all the music. I had not seen the original stage play or anything. I had not really heard the music from the musical, so I can't give you a comparison on how well they lined up with the original, with the original actors and all. What was it? Adina Menzel, and now it's Ariana Grande and stuff. So take your pick. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It seemed like a good variety of different styles of music and all that jazz. I had watched a couple musicals this year, and one of them just every song just sounded the same, like tone, like same music, and different words, and I was just like, nothing seems unique here. This definitely did. It seemed like every song was very well created, thought out, and written. I don't know how music's made. I'm terrible at that. But I did enjoy the movie, and I did enjoy the story, despite kind of knowing the basis thanks to the trailers going into it. Music's fantastic. Yeah, it's I mean, good, high quality musical. Like when you do a musical, it's real tough. The other musical of the year was Joker 2, technically. So compared to that, we're way on top. So bear with us on that. Um, I would after watching Joker 2. No, it's not another point. Wicked is definitely the musical you want to go see this year. I would highly recommend it. It was really fun, really that fun little like fantasy world of magic and all that jazz. And it had a very good pacing with the music and story. Like there wasn't a song every 5 seconds. The songs blended in well with the story. Like they didn't just kind of like pop in and was like, oh crap, we have to sing a song now. Choreography was really good with the dancing and stuff, and the way they did some of the dances with some of the songs was really good. I mean, there's a reason that it was like one of the biggest Broadway plays. Like it makes sense. And now putting it on the big screen, usually it's one of those things where it kind of like it looks a little too stage play, like it's a little too small when you put it in movies, because it's just like when you have a stage play, you're limited to a 30, 50 by 50 foot stage or however big it is, and you're kind of stuck with cardboard cutouts of palm trees. But no, this one was definitely scaled up in a very, very large, believable movie set that didn't seem like it was at any time a stage play before this. So it was definitely a very, very rich world, very, very well lived in. Looked really incredible. They really blew the budget on it, and I enjoy it. I don't mean that in a bad way. That could sound bad, but no, they really the budget was used very well to create a very, very rich universe. And then the choreography, they walk into Emerald City. Oh, spoiler. Um, and there's a whole song of them when they enter Emerald City for the first time, and it's literally like a whole city. They go down like an entire like street or two of a city, whereas on a stage, it'd just be like a room. So it was fantastic to watch the very large scale version of a small stage musical, and they did a fantastic job with it, in my opinion. The actors and all that were top notch, in my opinion. I don't really know any of them. I'm not a big fan of any of them. I don't know how new a lot of them are and all that jazz. I know some of them got some shade and flack for this movie. Go screw yourself. Like, who cares? Like, go shut up if you're angry at the people in the film. They did a fantastic job. I don't even know the main actress's name. Literally, the only name I know is Ariana Grande and Michelle Yeoh. I learned that Peter Dinklage plays the goat as well, but he doesn't even sing a song, so it's okay. Yeah. Other than that, but the main actress who plays the Green Witch, I don't even know her name. It's an E. It starts with an E. Terrible with names and stuff, so forgive me. Fantastic job, I think. Really, really good. Ariana Grande did good. She played the role well, I'll say. She's this like little preppy, I'm the best, everything matters about me. They did really good with like the writing of the movie's fantastic, with like the play on her character, like always wanting to be the center of attention, and the timing between her jokes and like the lull space and all that was fantastic. However, so now I've raved about how good the movie is, right? I gotta throw some downsides, some crap at it. It being a musical and based on a stage play, you can't you're just transferring it, right? You know, like, yes, it was expanded, yes, the budget was huge and it looked fantastic and it didn't look like a stage play, but it still is, you know, like it's very very kind of like quick and stuff. They do very good emotions and all that, but like cinematography wise, film wise and stuff, you know, it's not anything fantastic. There is some really good spectacle with the musicals and such that are really good, and I'm not like dissing the movie or anything at this point because it is fantastic, and I would recommend going to watch it. It's lovely. It's a lovely little film. It is very long. It has a runtime of like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I was never bored. It had very good pacing, despite the fact that I knew exactly what was coming with the trailer and all that. Um, it it felt long. You felt the length of it, but it wasn't boring. You know, like that is that a way to say it? I think that's the proper way to get it out there, right? It being a part one is kind of crazy because then you know you're gonna go into part two is gonna be like just as long, if not longer, you know. But based on what I've seen with the first one, I am excited for the second one. Fantastic little movie. I love how they paced the story and all that. It kind of starts as an epilogue of like after the Wizard of Oz story, and then it does like this flashback of describing the story. So kind of the witch is dead. Oh no! At the very beginning of the story, if you haven't seen Wizard of Oz, surprise, the witch dies. Um, it starts with her being dead already, and Glinda comes and visits Munchkinland, and kind of starts to like tell the tale of her origin story, and then it flashes back and does that. Overall, though, I mean, gosh, I can't really like say anything that I was just 100% like displeased with. Like this was not good about the film, you know. As a musical film based on a Broadway play, they upped the ante from a a stage play to a grand big budget film, and none of the singing was bad, none of the songs were bad, none of the actors or actresses were bad. They all performed fantastically. They all sung beautifully. That's all I got for you. I mean, like I don't know if I'd say like 5 out of 5, but I don't really have a reason not to. Like I don't have a reason to say 4 out of 5. I mean, I could bash that like, it's not like a grand cinematography film of the industry or whatever, but it's because it was a stage play. So like you can't really get mad that like it's not a great film because it was a stage play. Like the fact that they've grandiosed it up this much, is speaks to itself for sure. From like taking it from the stage to the big screen, and it wasn't lame. Jeff Goldblum's in it. He did really good too, actually. He usually kind of like likes to steal the scene and stuff just because of how famous he's gotten over the years. But his role was pretty. It was really important. He actually plays the wizard, but he kept himself toned down. Like he didn't really steal the scene and whatnot. He has like a small song he sings as well. Not fantastically, but I mean, it's Jeff Goldblum. He never really got into musicals, and he's like 67 or something. So he did good. And it was cool to see kind of like some origin beginnings leading up to Wizard of Oz. If you're a big fan of Wizard of Oz, you'll love it, and you'll catch on to a few things that you're like, oh yeah, this is that, and then this. And I am looking forward to part two. That's what I gotta say. So I definitely highly recommend it. It is a very fun, kid friendly movie as well. If you have children, I don't know what to say. It didn't push or get too cheesy at any parts or anything like that. I there's nothing to be mad about the movie. It was really good, and it was way better than I expected. Definitely going into it kind of like watching the trailers and seeing what I saw and thinking like, God, I've already seen the movie with the trailers. And then I went in, and the extended bits that weren't in the trailers, the full songs and all that jazz, I enjoyed. I wasn't overtaken by any of it, but the songs were fun, the acting was great, the story was really good, blah 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 blah. I could talk all day long, but that's it. I recommend it. Great movie. Give it a 5 out of 5. Why not? But with the little asterisk next to it. There we go. That's what I got. Okay, bye. I gotta make more movies.